me that I think these are the only things I know how to say in Korean. Oh, Sarange. Another like Seke. What to be what my K drama. Hi, knowledge. Good morning. Are we? Oh, it's evening. How are you doing? Been a while. What's up? What's happening? I'm fine. How have you been? And how was your tournament yesterday? Did you read? Or did you play well? No comment. What happened? Tell me now. What happened? Bashiru Sulaiman. Hi. How are you doing? Been a long time. Nice having you here today again. Knowledge, what happened? What happened? This to me, this to me. I'm fine, Bashir. You just the breeze in, breeze out once in a while. How is everything now? Bashir, is Salah coming up again? When is Big Salah, Bashir? Please, I want to know that I will be prepared for holiday soon. Therefore, let it come fast. People are tired. Did you miscalculate knowledge? Hey, was it a miscalculation from your end? Like 20 plus. I mean, it's less than a month. Still this May, right? You should be expecting salary this May, am I correct? Or early June? Oh, I'm so sorry, knowledge. So sorry about that. Anyways, oh, I don't want to be a motivational speaker. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope that next time your calculation arrives and you win, right? I hope you didn't feel bad though. Did you feel bad? And I also hope that you learned something from the miscalculation you made. Okay. I like that you are self-aware and you are admitting that the fault is from you. That means you learned from it, and then next time you are likely to not make the same mistake. Right, my dear knowledge. I hate calculations. But this is why I cannot. to data analysis. Anyways, that's good to hear. Although, knowledge, I don't know why you keep saying yes, ma'am. I'm not ma'am. Just say yes or call me by my name. Don't make me feel too old. Anyway, that's fine. 20 days. That is Salah is likely to be May 26th, right? May 26th or May 27th. I beg, I just wanted to come quickly. Uh, okay, today's topic. I'm coming. Let me just quickly do this before it goes off. I'm coming. I actually prepared the topic. I was just waiting for the right moment. Let's see. Uh, Knowledge, do you have a topic though? Before I type what I have, Knowledge, do you have any topic that you want us to talk about? 884, 884. Yeah. Hi. Hey. Well, I don't know. Life with Racy and crocheting. I don't know. Anyway, that's finally. Let me just type this. Actually, have had questions. Let me type it. You guys, hold on for me, please. Hmm, okay, okay. This is what I have. Oh no, were you asking a hmm. Should I remove this question and then we talk about world hunger knowledge? Hmm. Okay. 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 Life with okay, I want to get something. Should we talk about world hunger or should we talk about the topic up there? Let me know if I should remove it and change the question. Which do you guys prefer? I'm down with whichever you choose. I'm asking because I think Bashiru is also interested in the whole talking about hunger and all. So that's what I'm asking. So if you guys are cool with talking about the world hunger, um, both changes. Meanwhile, life with races and crocheting says my thoughts are mine. Life with race, I'd like to ask, what shapes your thoughts? What are the things you would say shapes your thoughts? And also, Bashir, when you say both changes, what do you mean? this question, talk about the other topic knowledge has. Let me see if I can shift this to the side. Something that can actually make. Bashir, I don't understand what that means. Something that can has fully meant to all the streamers. What does that mean? Does this correlate with the question up there, or you're talking about something else? Mm. It's not a student. No, knowledge is student. Knowledge is even, and it would say something. Obashir, do you mean that we should? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Actually, do you have a question? Because this is what I have in mind. Or if you have a question, you can share. Then after this, we can bring it up. How about that, Bashir? But knowledge says we learn from what we come into contact with. We are a part of the same collective representation. Hmm, okay. So if I understand you correctly, knowledge, you are saying that it is what we digest, probably from um, newspapers, TVs, conversations, even social media, things we consume repeatedly. And you say that these are the things that we learn from or shape our thoughts, but we just have our own way of understanding them individually. Is that what you are saying, knowledge? Um, there's a note saying that there's nothing new under the sun. A lot of our thoughts have been thought of or put into practice. Mm, mm. This you just said knowledge just reminds me of when I was writing my final year project in school. My lecturer kept on emphasizing on the fact that there is nothing that I would write about that has not been written. I could always source for materials online. So yes, I subscribe to your thoughts that there's actually nothing new under the sun. Okay, starts from home. Hmm. Okay. In other words, our thoughts are not really ours. Then. Our thoughts are not really ours. If if people must have thought about them, or um, like you said earlier, they are going from things we probably heard or read or seen or stuff like that. They, they're not really ours, are they? Is Bashir still here? I guess Bashir is still waiting for the future plans um, question, because I'm also still waiting for Bashir to ask a question that leads towards that. Anyway, knowledge, I get you, and I totally agree because I also believe that our thoughts are shaped by things we absorb, things we listen to, hear, and mostly when we come across these things repeatedly, they tend to become our reality, or should I say, our way of thinking, and they trigger certain things in us. They may sometimes trigger make us be biased in our judgments, trigger insecurities and stuff like that. So yes, I agree with that. From a secondary source. Yep, yep. But then, how then did the first people that came up with whatever ideologies we live by now, how then did they come up with all those thoughts? You know, when you are making a research, you research different school of thought, philosophers and all. How then did these people come out with these ideologies, knowledge? Do you, do you have any idea? It's just intriguing to think about. I don't know. I wonder how. How did that primary source come up with um, their ideologies? Probably through practical, right? I don't know. I don't know. It should be. I'm curious. Reed, hi. How are you doing, Reed? You are welcome to today's live stream. Thank you for coming early today. Anyway, Reed, how can both be true at the same time? Can you explain how? How is that possible? Um, through interactions. Hmm, through interactions. Hmm. So if you are saying that knowledge, I'm talking to you. If you are saying that these people that are the primary source of some of the informations that has shaped our thoughts. These people, they're saying that if you're saying that they got such information or such theories through interactions, that is to say, they may not likely be the primary source because they conversed with people, they had conversations with people that bettered such thoughts in their head. Do you do you not think that it's they probably heard from someone, or more like a collective thoughts or inventory. What am I saying? I don't know. I just feel like if it was true interaction, they might have probably heard from someone or somewhere or gathered information from a group of people and then put everything into one research paper. Right? Anyway, which says a lot of our thoughts are heavily influenced by what we absorb. Family, culture, music, trauma, social media, friends, fear, desires, even the mood of the room around us. Okay, nice. The brain is considered importance of the brain in different forms. That means Reed is also saying that they are not our thoughts. If they are influenced by these things you mentioned, then they are not our thoughts. Hmm. Okay. Anyway, hi Eldad. Thank you so much for joining today. And thank God you're also not rushing today. I've missed you. I've missed you answering question here. You are welcome. Meanwhile, Elder says thoughts from two places of mind, mind and heart. Hmm. So Eldad, yes. I want to understand the Eldad. Because your answer is very short and are you saying that our thoughts are from our mind and our hearts? I want to understand it correctly, please, before I ask another question. Okay. So, read. If I spend more time with people in love, would you say that? What would you say about that? Hmm. Okay. 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 Hmm. Okay. Okay. Read's explanation is very elaborative. It's extensive. I like that. Meanwhile, knowledge, are you here? I feel like you and knowledge are saying the same thing, though. You and knowledge are saying the same thing. Just that yours is elaborative. You are explaining it broadly, and knowledge is just straight to the point. Well, knowledge has always been a straight to the point kind of person. He does not like plenty words. Anyway, that says heart can't easily absorb, but mind can. The inner question in this case is who owns your mind? Of course, you are the owner of your mind. We're talking about thoughts. We're talking about your thoughts right now. What influences those thoughts? You know, what makes you think about the things you think of? Eldad, that is what we are trying to understand or establish here. Of course, we know that you own your mind. And I feel like this also boils down to self awareness. Even when you absorb these things or these thoughts. Sometimes are you aware that these thoughts are not yours? Are you aware that these thoughts are from so thing? I think that is the angle that is coming from. I don't know if I'm correct or that I stand to be corrected. So when you say you own your mind, from what I'm trying to understand, I are you talking about you being consciously aware that this your way of thinking is coming from somewhere. Is that what you're saying? Wow. Eh, good. Read. I like that you answered that. So if you spend more time with people who are genuinely in love, it can quietly reshape the way you think and feel about relationships. So read. I think it is time that you spend more time with people in love. So it will change the way you think about relationships. and love each other. Where's real tropical man? Oh God, real tropical man too. I think this your last statement is an advice that you should take. You and real tropical man. I hope that real tropical man watches this live and hear this, and you also take your advice. Anyway, I asked Eldad a question. I'm trying to understand Eldad, and also I think this Eldad statement is a counter statement to what you've been trying to explain, and also to you knowledge. That's if you're still here. I mean, I can feel that you're still here. So, what you guys have to say or think about the counter statement that Eldad is trying to push right now, just so we'll have clearer understanding. You guys don't mind me, this biscuit and funny papa song is in my mouth. I'm such a biscuit fan. Ouch. Um, Did you guys even get your last question? Or should I reread it? Should I read it again? Where's that Elder's question? Or what is that statement? Well, he said a lot of things. Firstly, he said that um he said okay, I think he has answered. Okay. Uh yeah, that just answered. He says the mind that is yours is what brings up those thoughts. So which anything one absorb goes into form thoughts. And in other words, one can't absorb without the mind's permission. This is trying to confuse me. Ah, one can't absorb without the mind's permission. Okay. That's the thing. I'm trying to understand what you mean. Oh my god, this let me read it again. The mind that is yours is what brings up those thoughts. So which anything one absorb goes in to form thought. In other words, one can't absorb whatever the mind without the mind permission. Okay. So when the mind okay, Eldad, the mind gives you permission and you absorb those thoughts. Does it still mean that the thoughts that your mind gave permission? Sorry, I like to simplify my words like a 5 years old. Does it still mean that the thoughts that your mind gave permission to absorb is yours or not? I may give you permission to do something, does not mean that I did it myself. So, permission or not, is that thought yours or the factors that, hmm, nah, eh. Anyway, you know that I believe you also understand my question. Let's hear. Let me not interrupt this discussion. I heard it on scatter. Is knowledge still here? Hey, knowledge. Ibrahim is no longer here. Ibrahim did not like the question, I guess. I take it. Yes, Eldad, still answering. Meanwhile, read and knowledge. I'm waiting for you guys to. Knowledge says trauma can affect thoughts as well. Uh, knowledge, you know that trauma can also be considered as one of the things that we absorb indirectly. Yeah, because something happened to you that triggered such thoughts. Don't you think? Knowledge. I mean, if that thing had not happened to you, if you had not experienced that, I mean, thoughts can be sort of through experience. I don't know, right? Am I right? I don't know. I feel like it's one of the things that can trigger one's thoughts or reaction indirectly. I stand to be corrected though. Anyway, other says it is you that is representing the mind in this case, meaning absorption have nothing but you, but you do it all. Your question was confusing, so that's why this kind of answer. Your answer is still confusing. Okay, knowledge. Thank you. I think I get you. Eldad, your answer is still confusing. Okay, can you explicitly or clearly explain? Because I think okay, if I understand you correctly, Eldad, are you trying to say that we are in total control of our thoughts? Let's first of all establish that understanding, Eldad. Are you trying to say that we are in total control of our thoughts? Read. You are the reason why every time I start my vlog, I always say, my name is Irene and not Irene. Read, my name is Irene. Irene. Not Irene. I will. Anyway, what do I think? Okay, Elder, explain. If you say yes, can you explain how we are in total like explain to me? I know you've been trying to explain, I still don't understand it. Can you please try to simplify it? Meanwhile, Reed says, what do I think? Before you joined Reed, I tried to explain that I think that our thoughts are influenced by the things around us that we digest. It can be some of the things you mentioned, social media, like knowledge mentioned, interaction, conversations with people. It can be life experiences. It can be um, shaped by family, what we are being taught in school, books we read. And the funny thing is, when we come across these things repeatedly, it begins to seem like facts to us. They begin to look like facts to us. Let me use an example of how people. I'm going to use the various tribes in Nigeria. Over the years, I've always been hearing that the Yorubas they are snitches, they are betrayals. Now I've never had any Yoruba person betray me or snitch on me, but I have this belief that whenever I'm around any of them, I'm usually very careful because I've read books and the Yorubas are betrayals. I've had conversations that they will do you this, they'll do you that. So because of that, because of all these things I've heard in my mind now, all I'm thinking about the Yoruba person will betray you. Another thought is about EBC people from Imo State. EBC men or women, they are corny. They are, I don't know if you've heard that before. This is because it is something that I've heard over time, and they've kind of shaped that particular thought in me that this is how people from this particular region are. It might not be entirely true, to be honest. It might not be entirely true unless you experience a couple of them. Because some people will tell you that majority carries the vote. So it may not, like I said, it may not be entirely true because it is what people are always saying. Now, I am now left to believe. And most people, even when you go on social media, they even tell you Enugu men are stingy, Enugu women are responsible, they are good wife materials. It is because of what people have absorbed over the years that they have believed it to be true. I don't know if this explanation, makes you understand very well. Anyway, knowledge says that it is safe to say that our thoughts are limited to the current power structure. Knowledge, can you explain to me, like a 5 years old child, this thing you just wrote so that I understand? What do you mean that limited to the current power structure? Are you saying that the people in power control the circulation of information that shapes our thoughts? Is that what you are saying? Or trying to say knowledge? Meanwhile, others says things you absorb becomes yours. Okay. Eldad is twisting this thing, guys. Eldad is now saying that things you absorb becomes your thoughts. But Eldad, you know that there's this thing we call self-awareness. You, I don't know. Like, are you self-aware of, or are you conscious of the fact that these thoughts that you now call yours came from somewhere or was benefited from different situations around you? Elder, I understand that when something is given to you, yes, it becomes yours. You understand? But my question is, are those thoughts originally yours? Are they originally yours? Did you just think about them yourself, or you absorbed them from people? That is the question here. Not trying to merge the whole thing together like they are trying to do here. That anyway, which says if humans were fully in control of their thoughts, nobody would experience intrusive thought, anxiety loops, or wanted memories, random fears, dreams, or emotions that appears without permission. Okay, thoughts often arise automatically from the subconscious mind. Okay, past experiences, biology, hormones, it don't kill you, environment, and whatever the brain has been exposed to repeatedly. Sometimes a thought enters your mind before you consciously notice it. Wait, can you explain that part when you say sometimes a thought enters your mind before you notice it? Can you explain it? It is inside of you. just needed the reflection. All that, all that. How is that possible? How is it possible for how is it possible for you to already it's just like saying that you already know something. You just needed somebody to explain to you or just highlight some of it for you to remember fully. Is that what that it's just synonymous to what you are trying to say. So how is that possible? For you to already have a thought and then what you just need is like a reflection. Um Now that this thing you just said, knowledge mentioned it before. And when they say nothing new under the sun, they're trying to say before you thought of that, people already spoke about it, written about it, published things about it. Do you understand? So you from your end absorbed those contents that now shaped your thoughts. So that is what I believe that they mean by there is nothing new under the sun. But if you have another explanation, you can explain so we'll understand from your side. Meanwhile, I read civil engineer. I beg, explain to all your big grammar. Elder, stop telling me you know the answer. If I knew the answers, I wouldn't be asking you all these plenty questions. Okay, wait says they are waking at night, hear footsteps behind you, and instantly think something feels wrong. That fear response appears before. That is because most of the time we've watched movies where whenever you hear example, the popular story, Mrs. Koi Koi, hearing footsteps at night, that's Mrs. Koi Koi's ghost. Most of the movies we watch, we know that scary things happen at night. So when you hear footsteps, it's likely it's either an armed robber or a ghost or so it's natural. I don't think no, read, you understand, Sha. Wait now you see your ex unexpectedly and memories, emotions flooding before you decide how to feel. That is because of the past experience and connection that the both of you just both had. Read. During a quiet moment, a completely random, embarrassing memory from 5 years ago suddenly appears in your head without invitation. Well, all these things you are mentioning, we, they still falls under the things that we have absorbed, which are also things that we have experienced. Don't you think? I feel like we are still saying the same thing, but in a different way. And it confuses me. What question did he ask? If I give you an example, Eldad, it's because I'm trying to understand you correctly. Because the major point you gave, you said that when you absorb the thought becomes yours. I asked again, okay, Adam and Eve were just humans until something came up from a teller. Somebody created, remember, somebody created Adam and Eve that told them everything they needed to know. And then there was also another person that appeared in front of Eve, according to what the Bible says. Oh. You don't know if na Adam the snake meet on agenda lies in na Eve. Anyway, the snake also appeared in front of Eve and told Eve some things. These things that they were told by both God and the snake shaped their thought. Do you not think so, Eldad? If a single person can think of something no one has thought of before without any outside influence, that is their own thoughts. Yeah, that I agree to. Anyway, I one knowledge just said now is this is not entirely the same with what Eldad has been saying though. That doesn't mean saying that because Eldad is saying that when you absorb a thought, it becomes yours. While knowledge on the other hand is saying when you just come up with an invention, like a thought that nobody has thought of before, then that thought is yours. That I agree with. But I still do not agree with Eldad saying that when you absorb a thought, that thought automatically becomes yours. Nah, I do not agree with that. That is why I want him to explain to me beyond reasonable doubt. So I would understand. Hey, read, I'm seeing your examples. Well, your examples are still leaning towards the same thing you've been saying since the beginning, which is our thoughts being shaped by some external factors around us. Although you are somehow trying to confuse me. The liar deceived Eve, not Adam. How are you sure, Eldad? How are you sure that it was Eve that the liar deceived? Wait, let's not go there. And now, read. The Bible says that a serpent appeared. You know, they use the serpent there is just symbolic. The serpent in the Bible is symbolic. We all know who that serpent represents. The Bible says the serpent appeared to Eve. Then I am saying that how are we because that Bible now I don't want us to see this conversation else was written by your gender, written and circulated, translated by your gender. So how are we sure that it was Eve that ate the apple, that the serpent went to and ate the apple? How are we sure that it was not your gender, Adam, that ate that apple, gave to Eve and lied? Because your gender can lie you. And lied that it was Eve. There's no good there. You know that how are you sure that that thing that was recorded is the truth? Eh? The Bible recorded? How are you sure? Who wrote it? Who wrote this Bible now that you're asking them? Who wrote it? You guys don't mind me. Anyway, not my controversial statements. I understand. What's the only reason why I said that was because of what somebody said something that made me bring up that story. Okay, somebody said, I think Elder mentioned something about Adam and Eve. Or was it Eve that mentioned about Adam and Eve? And I was trying to explain that their thought and everything they knew was um, being vetted or triggered by what God already told them and the serpent told them as well. So it wasn't like it was a some of their thoughts were probably self-invented, but majority of the things they knew was being passed down to them by their creator and the serpent. That was just the message I was trying to pass. But that's by the way. Read, don't start. It does not sound dumb. Leave me. Do you believe it was Apple? I would say that those things were symbolic. That apple was symbolic to knowledge, if I would say. knowledge of good and evil, wisdom. Well, I would say that apple, it was a symbol of knowledge and wisdom. Wasn't like apple, apple. You know, the Bible uses metaphor to explain a lot of things. uh So when they say apple, like immediately they ate the apple, their eyes opened and they knew things. So that is, knowledge, wisdom, them knowing things that they were not supposed to know, just so as they would be safe and be under the protection of their creator. That is what I would say to you. But as his time began, man has been blamed for rebellion and pride, which Adam did by proving that point. Let us just go to the beginning, because let us not go to, because if we start, we go sleep for here. Because you can argue, eh? And you and read. When I go start, but it says that me, I'm a believer of the faith. But I will not deny the fact that with everything happening in our current, in this our present time, a lot of things are questionable, both the Bible. As a matter of fact, yeah, I woke up today and I was studying the Bible. There was a passage I read, First Timothy chapter 2. Maybe I read that particular chapter and I saw what that chapter said about, women and men. I just closed it and I dropped my Bible and I said, God, give me wisdom, because this particular chapter makes no sense to me. I'm seeing clear patriarchy here. And how do I agree now that this thing was not written by some men in power? I don't know if you understand. So, in as much as I'm a believer of the faith, there are some things there that are questionable, but I just, I believe, I beg God, no verse for me, I beg God, I know what this was. Anyway, knowledge says, tree of knowledge of good or evil. Yeah, say, I was correct. Read, what did the Bible say? If Bible, elder, ask you a question. If Bible did not say, because all my life I've been saying apple, apple. Even the storybook, Bible storybook will show us apple. Elder, you can ask a question and make sense. But let me see. Okay, my Bible, the good news says fruits. Fruits. But every other, some Bibles, I don't, my Bible story will tell you apple shell, but my Bible says fruits. So anyone, sir? Michael Jackson. Who doesn't? Or I've not watched this his recent documentary. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but I intend watching it. But who doesn't know about Michael Jackson? Who doesn't? I do. Well, first of all, his music. Before any controversy, like me, I'm not a small baby. Okay, I'm an old woman, a young girl's body. So I've been listening to Michael Jackson. I've always loved Michael Jackson. Songs, Jackson. So that was how I knew about him before every other thing that happened to him happened. Just like how I know about Chris Brown, Usher, Beyonce, Rihanna, and the rest of them now. That was how I knew about Michael Jackson. Knowledge, what is ambrosia? What is ambrosia? Chakam. Yeah, he did. He had children with one of his sisters, if I remember correctly. Okay, forbidden fruits. We're talking about the fruits that Adam and Eve ate. But Reed is trying to say that the particular name of that fruit was not mentioned. That's what he's trying to say. What then? How did these Bible stories come up with apple? Because I'm not growing up, I read a lot of books that stated that Adam and Eve ate apple. How did they come up with that? Hmm. His children had children, and his children had friends. Well, the fruit wasn't mentioned. Yeah, now I read, just checked my Bible and it wasn't mentioned. Sadly, you see, you see what I mean. It just further proves this question I asked. Our thoughts really yours or things we've absorbed? Over time, because of things I've read, even seen on television, even the Passion of Christ. If you watch the Passion of Christ, the first Passion of Christ that came out, the popular one that we all know, the fruit that was given to no Passion of Christ did not start from the garden. Sorry, Garden of Eden. But other books, Bible characters that we've read, the fruit that they gave to Eve was an apple. So, because of all these things I've read and watched, it has made me think and believe that what they ate in the Garden of Eden was an apple. It has further, I mean, like Eldad would say, because of those books that I've read that I've absorbed those thoughts, they are now mine. I now believe myself and millions of people out there subconsciously believe that Adam and Eve ate apple. Meanwhile, Bible did not mention any name. So was that thought ours? No, we watched it from somewhere, and then because we digested it, Eldad said it has become our thought. Uh, I think I also kind of understand Eldad though. The human body represent that tree. Eldad, do you mind explaining? Where did you read that from? And do you mind throwing, giving more context to that? Hmm. Read. Do you mean Jehovah Witness? Let me even ask knowledge. Knowledge, did you ever hear or see anywhere? Because I know the reason I'm asking is because you've lived in a different continent from us over here. Did you ever see anywhere that the fruit that Adam and Eve ate was an apple? Did you ever see it anywhere growing up? Maybe in a Bible character, in a Bible story or movie? Let's say true, and that Jehovah Witness now. All those their booklets so they can share for people houses. That's like that book nine to tell us in Apple nine they chop. Oh my God. Jehovah Witness, I mean. I know growing up I read their books very well. Don't even know why I did. Busy person no read book where they use money prints, can't share. Okay, if oh now I remember Jehovah Witness. I think Jehovah Witness is an international denomination. If I remember, I think there is an international church, but Knowledge said he has also seen something like that. So I guess it's not just us. Anyways, what did this person type? Of every other tree ye shall eat, but this one ye shall not, unless ye shall die. Then Caesar came to see if you eat this fruit, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods. So what here tells us that the tree symbolizes the human body. Tell that what's here in what you just wrote tells us that the tree symbolizes the human body. Knowledge also saw the big apple, Abby. See, it's not just us. So read, you and elders should not come at me with asking me if the Bible mentioned apple. The Bible said fruit, but our churches have been telling us apple. So what do you expect me to believe? How are you sure that it was Eve that gave to her husband? I tell you again. How are you sure? Just like some churches have been trying to tell us that that fruit was an apple, meanwhile the Bible did not mention which fruit in particular it was. How are we sure that it wasn't somebody that just went there and twisted the whole thing? Because, like I said, your gender, they carry award for lies. And where Adam waka dey go, where he leave him wife alone? Where did he go to that he was not paying attention to his wife that was kept under his care? Knowing fully well that she does not know anything. She didn't even know the whole environment well. Hey God, do you want to start a necessary argument? Not that I know, we've already established the fact that I was not an apple. But you said that you saw somewhere that the tree means the human body, and then you quoted the Bible verse. So I'm asking, why do you say so? Why do you think so? What exactly in this Bible verse that you just quoted tells us that the tree in that Garden of Eden, represents the human body? Okay, there is a word that says the fruit of your womb. Where is the tree that brought fruit from the womb? Tree de bele. Hmm. Hmm. If I So you are saying, blessed are you amongst women, and blessed is the fruit. That was what Mary Magdalene said to Mary. Immediately she visited her. I mean, Mary visited Mary Magdalene. I mean, Mary, the mother of Christ, visited Mary Magdalene when she was pregnant with John the Baptist. So Mary Magdalene said, blessed are you amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. That was when Mary Magdalene knew that Mary was pregnant. So it was Mary Magdalene that said that fruit of your womb. Yeah, Mary Magdalene said that fruit of your womb. But when what Mary Magdalene meant was the fruit of the womb was Jesus. And Jesus in the womb of Mary. That's what Mary Magdalene was saying. So if you are saying that that tree is the you know what, this I don't understand the particular part. So let me not talk so that I don't say rubbish. Knowledge says it's the woman who nurtures. I yes, I think okay. Knowledge, the woman who nurtures, that means You guys are so confused right now. Knowledge, are you saying that that passage, that means this fruit of the womb that Elder is talking about, is trying to tell us that it is the woman who not carries the child, nurtures it, it's whatever. Is that what you're trying to say, knowledge? Elder said, then the Bible said, if this fruit ye shall not eat. Elder, I don't think it's talking about the same thing. No. I don't think that fruit of your womb, Jesus. If you are trying to understand the Bible, you have to read the full passage to understand it very well, not just pick some parts to fit the context you are trying to explain. So I feel like you are just picking that part, fruit of the womb, to explain this particular point you are trying to prove. I don't really see the correlation there. To be honest, I don't really see the correlation there because now you are saying that the same Bible said, if this fruit ye shall not eat. Fruit of the womb, remember that was referring to Jesus in Mary's womb. So if God is telling Adam and Eve to not eat that fruit from that tree, and we are saying the tree represents the human body, and the fruit of the womb was Jesus, then are you saying that God was stopping them from not eating a fruit that would probably have given them more knowledge about Christ? Because this fruit of the womb you just mentioned now, like I said, was a reference to Jesus that was in the womb of Mary. I don't know if you understand the point I'm trying to make, Elder. The fruit of the womb is a reference to Jesus in the womb of Mary. So if you are saying God told Adam and Eve to not eat that fruit from that tree, and you are still saying that the tree represents the human, whatever, because of that Bible passage you are trying to reference, then are you saying that God was telling them to not eat a fruit from a tree that probably would have given them a better understanding about Christ that was to come? Or that? I don't know if my question is clear to you or to every other person. Okay, it's one of the fruits. So where are the other fruits? Where are the other fruits? Or which other fruits are you referring to? Me, I'm confused like this. Because it may actually mean that, so instead of every fruit ye shall eat, but this one. It's just like even us as humans, there are some things, what I understand, I don't know. It's just like us as humans, there are things that we are allowed to do. And there are also things that we are asked to not to do as per good and bad. So I feel like those fruits that God asked them to eat were good fruits that would make them know good things to do. What did he do? What did he retract? But the ones that he asked them not to eat was the one that would make them, be more exposed, know evil, and go against his wishes. Because just like the serpent told Eve that eating these fruits will make you a god, that's like mini god. That means it will make you know things and gods they tend to want to be worshipped, act like they have their own powers. So when you eat that fruit, you don't want to respect God, the person that created you. You know evil, likely do evil, like some of us are already doing now. That's why I said that fruit of probably knowledge or whatever. The tree now is what I'm still trying to understand. I really still do not understand what that tree means. I think I'm going to research, but I still do not agree that it represents the human body. It will make you, know good and evil, want to behave like God, act like God, feel like you even know more than him. Hey, that's a lie. Please explain. Oh, yeah, tell me now. If it is a lie, me, I don't know. Oh, yeah, tell me. Hmm, I know, right? Unfortunately, maybe we should petition to YouTube. Hi, Steve for Truth. Hi, good morning. Finally meet you again. Maybe we should petition to YouTube to enable voice recording. But Eldad, you can explain. Like, you can counter me so I would understand, please. Steve for Truth, how are you doing now? Meanwhile, we have 15 minutes. 15. I pray that it's up to 15 minutes. But let me just say 15 minutes here remaining. It's 21% now. Very soon they'll warn me for start going down, 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 down. So let's pray that it gets to 15 minutes. Do, 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 do. V5, W5, X. Is your dad explaining? I don't know when my this thing is this makes me feel like it is stuck. Please, I hope this thing is not stuck. Meanwhile, in order to be sure that it is not stuck, Knowledge, can you kindly say hi in the chat box if you can hear me? Read in your head. Hey, they don't want me, you Chineke. Oh, okay, okay, you guys can hear me. They have warned me now. Oh, that you are waving. I thought you were explaining because you said that's a lie. That means you are disagreeing with what I was trying to explain earlier. So that's fine. Thank you, knowledge. So I thought you were explaining why you disagree with what I was trying to explain. No, no. Finance. Fine. Okay. And I still disagree with the things that you said. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much. Firstly, I know we did not come to. Okay, we already concluded our topic, but the Bible aspect we entered, we did not conclude, and I don't think there will ever be a conclusion. I am not a minister. I don't preach the gospel. I am a believer of the faith, and I understand it. So I understand. I don't think we'll ever come to a conclusion because everybody will continue arguing. So we'll just leave it at that. And that being said, I, as usual, appreciate all of you for being here and for keeping me company and for engaging in my not so boring topics. Anyways, thank you guys. I really appreciate and I hope to see you guys. I don't say tomorrow now. Tomorrow I'll be too lazy to live stream. But hopefully tomorrow if I come online. Hopefully I'd love to always come online. It was Satan that told them their eyes to be open, but God didn't say something else. They shall die. I feel like God saying you shall die is the consequences for that action. When I feel get this point, I don't think Satan lies to them though. Get this point. Your eyes will be open. You will know good and evil. And then when you choose to do evil, that is where the ye shall die comes in. But when you don't eat that fruit, you only know about good. You continue to do good. Then, anyway, then the death will not come in. But when you now eat that fruit and know bad, you do evil, you die now. Well, at least now understand. Anyway, okay, obviously, he deceived her, but I don't. I don't think he lied. I just feel like he didn't. He just did not give them the full, you know. No, no, I'm not saying he was correct. I'm saying that he just did not give them the full explanation. He probably did not give Eve that the Bible said. We are still not sure if it was Adam. He did not give Eve the full explanation of what was going to happen, if the consequences of their action. That's what he told them, that you would just to deceive her and make her think that she would be like God. You understand? Be like him. That is the deceit there. But did not tell her the consequences of her action, which would lead to her death and the suffering of mankind. Anyways, Eldad, do you have any last counter for me before I go? I think knowledge has left. I also think weed has left. But anyway, do you have any last counter for me? If not, let's say our goodbyes and kisses, and then we meet. Is it tomorrow or today? But later tonight. If not, that just kindly wave so I can end the live stream. Okay. I think he tested them, and also he had other plans for humans. I think before they disobeyed him. Hmm. Okay. Well, you said keyword think. That word alone is uncertainty. You are not certain. Since and as long as you are not certain, we cannot conclude on that. Why he closed the garden? I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm also thinking. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm thinking because I'm not sure. It's an assumption. Because the garden was meant for good, the righteous, and not for evil. And Adam and Eve obviously has done evil just by eating that fruit alone. So that was probably why he closed the garden doors. Anyway, you're sending heartbreak. And this must really hurt you. I understand. Because we are all supposed by now would have been living an easy life if not for that one disobedience. Okay. You can listen one more time. What what do you want to say, Eldad? You know what, say it. Okay, now I'm going off soon. It's just Eldad. I'm waiting for Eldad to round up. Eldad, you can ask your last question, so I just round up. This one, the butter has gone off. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I think they are changing to never light. Very cool. Yeah, that let's round up the questions. So I can go. Elder, I say asking a question. End it, Elder. I'm looking at my battery, please. When he casted out Satan from heaven, betrayed him, and they did. Actually, to make sense here, I also see it as a test. And what if the Garden of Eden, I wouldn't say it was entirely heaven. It would have been for us if that thing had not happened, because if we had not disobeyed, if we had not failed that test, we would have seen the Garden of Eden by now. There would have been no need, there would have been no death, so that would have just been living, and it would have just been taking place. So it was for me never be closed. So yes, what you said, Dad, probably. Never know. Here on earth, I'm a jealous God. Wondering. Sometimes I ask myself. I think I'll ask it on my next life, probably tomorrow. Since he's a jealous God, why then did he create good and evil? I think I should ask that. You guys should kindly read, because I would love answers. Me, I don't know, so I would love answers. Tomorrow I'll just keep quiet and be listening to you guys. So you guys should research, put that question. You guys, thank you so much, Eldad. Thank you, Knowledge, and also thank you, Reed. I think Reed has left. Thank you, Reed, and everyone that joined. Everybody, love and kisses.